we are here today to do a past life reading for you. So as you can see, there are 4 piles to choose from. So you can go through and see which pile stands out to you. And this is obviously it's fairly general because there's 4 piles, but this is about a past life that you need to kind of connect to, like the energy. We'll kind of explain it a little bit more as we go, but the energy that's most important for you to have an awareness of that is connected to a past life that is coming up in your lifetime now. Now, if you are new to our channel, welcome. My name is Lalantia. I'm a psychic realm channeler and energy healer. And on our channel, we talk about all kinds of things spirituality. So I specialize in working with magical beings. So I work with dragons, unicorns, mermaids, fairies, all different kinds of magical guides. And Nathalie will tell you a little bit about what she does. But when we come together, we bring such amazing energy to help you to connect more deeply to the magic of your true self. So we are all about expanding that energy of your authentic self so that you can be your most magical. I think that kind of fits for both of us, like the most magical version of yourself in being able to shine your light into the world. And so we are all about empowerment. So the readings that we do are all about empowering you so that you know what steps to take so that you can show up and do the work and really begin to recognize more of who you are. So I will turn it over to Nathalie to tell you a little bit about herself.
Hi guys, I'm Nathalie. I'm a cosmic medium, an intuitive reader and artist, but also an animal and nature communicator. This means that I focus mostly on animals and nature and everything that has to do with them. So this can be spirit animals, but this can also be animals that you have in your home, like your pets or passed on pets. I focus on cosmic mediumship. This is actually a term that I discovered for myself. It means that I mostly connect to extraterrestrial beings and galactic guides. This means that I'm also a lifelong contactee, so I focus a lot on that and making people feel comfortable so they know that they are not alone in this world and that we actually live in a reality where we have contact with extraterrestrial and multidimensional beings on a daily basis.
Yes, absolutely. And when we kind of bring this energy together, because we both talk about, such extreme things, we have had multiple experiences ourselves, in these different things with galactic energies and with the magical guides that we have available to us. And everything comes back to us, everybody, learning to accept who they really truly are, because we are very, very confined and put into a lot of boxes in our world and our society. So we're all about breaking those boxes down and stepping into that magic. So we put up the 4 piles. So if you have picked your pile and what you are most drawn to, then we will start. And we are using a combination of channeling, so tuning into the energy and what we're receiving and what the guides are bringing through, as well as the cards themselves. So there is more energy than just what is in the cards, but take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Remember, this is a general reading, so we can't get super specific. There may be parts of the reading that don't resonate with you, but really listen to what feels right to you and what triggers things within you. So I'm going to do pile 1. And when I tuned into pile 1, I got that this past life is very connected to your throat and being able to express yourself, being able to be authentic in your expression of yourself. So this could be authentically being creative, which came up for me as well, like authentically creative instead of holding back and doing what you think other people want you to do or being who you think other people want you to be. But the throat chakra is coming up really strong. This is also, I'm getting a lot of magical energy. So this may have been a past life where you may have a little bit of a harder time comprehending right now, but you may have been a mermaid or a fairy or some other type of magical being. And yes, this is absolutely possible. So I pulled some cards from the Mermaid deck. It is Messages from the Mermaids by Karen Kay to start it off. And the first card that came up is actually gratitude. And this is being able to be kind of at peace with who you are, where you are, and gratitude for the life that you have, instead of that grass is always greener on the other side. Now there is always different sides to this. But the reason that the gratitude is coming up is that's going to help you in finding peace right now. And because gratitude is very grounding and very present. And I know that seems like counterintuitive to a past life reading, but it's coming up is really important for you to be able to connect with this past life even more deeply, to be able to understand the energy that is coming through for you, and to really begin to tap into your feelings. What are the feelings that you are having at this moment? So this past life, you may have been a mermaid, but you may not have been. Like I said, this is a general reading, but the emotions that you're going through right now are directly connected to this past life. So be really honest with yourself about what you are feeling. And I talk about this all of the time. If you were a follower of mine, you have probably heard it before. But if you are honest with yourself, if you write down on a piece of paper, if I'm honest with myself, I feel, and do this regularly and see what is coming up for you, because that is connected to this past life that's coming up for you as well. Now, I pulled a crystal card from the Illustrated Crystallary, and it's emerald, and it says choose your initiation. Now, this is coming up as like you have many skins, right? You have been many different beings. You have had many different experiences. So we can see on the corners these different beings, right? The eyes of these different types of beings. We have chameleon, and I'm not sure what that other one is up in the corner, but we have some kind of cat. And yeah, so it's basically that you have had many different types of experiences. Don't put yourself into a box. We also have the cat there in the background, which may have significance for you as well. This also is this expression of your, like this past life is connected to the expression of who you really truly are. So tapping into this past life is going to help you to find who you are most aligned with being in this life. Because remember, you have many, 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 many past lives. So it's not like you've just had one, you've had many different past lives, and they all kind of, they don't all necessarily become irrelevant for this lifetime as to things that you need to look at or work on. But this particular past life is helping you to find that authentic expression of yourself, which is connected to your throat chakra, like I had said in the beginning. The next card that came up, and this is from the Magical Times deck, and it is Cycles. And it says, we are all becoming, surrender to your changes, release your fear, trust this powerful process. So this is showing that, there's an importance of having balance, but as you allow yourself to connect more with this past life that is coming up for you, that there may be some times that you need to surrender to it. It may seem really bizarre, it may seem really crazy to you. And trust me, like Nathalie and I both know about some really kind of crazy things that happen, and past lives that we have connected with that seem like that is impossible. But we do these things together. We can see it for each other. We know that we wouldn't both be seeing the same thing if it wasn't real. So we know, we've had validation, we've had confirmation that there are some really bizarre things. But as you explore some of these things that may seem really bizarre to you, it takes a little bit of time to accept it, but you will learn to accept it. You will learn that it is just a part of you, and that it's not really as crazy as maybe you think it is. But any of those fears that are coming up for you, what is coming up? Are you afraid that people are going to think that you're a crazy person if you talk about it? Are you afraid that people may judge you? Are you afraid that it's too much for you, or that you're too weird? Or what is it? What is the fear that is coming up for you? And recognize, it is all a part of becoming, which I think is a really important sentence that is on here. We are all becoming. So you're becoming more of your true self, and that connects with this card, the becoming in the sense of I want to say, like, chameleon keeps coming up in my mind, the chameleon that you are, changing colors, but it's really just becoming more of yourself. So it may feel really uncomfortable. It may seem overwhelming, but it's a process, and it's just accepting it a little bit at a time. The next card that came up is the Path of the Gods, and this is decisions, meetings, and future plans. Look at that beautiful image. And this card, you can see it's like, it looks like Earth, but it's so peaceful and serene and beautiful. And it has such a magical feeling to it. And it talks about decisions, meetings, and future plans. So this past life is connected to some future things that are coming up for you, or it may be connected to some future things that are coming up for you, and some decisions that may be presented in your life right now. So I do feel like there is some decisions that you're facing that are connected to this past life. And the more you connect to that past life and heal some of the stuff that you are feeling or having coming up for you, then you're going to be able to make the best decision for you and what is in alignment with your soul and your heart and where you really want to be. I'm just seeing if there's anything else they want to point out about that. I think that's it for now. The next card is the dolphin collar. And I'm like pausing because I do feel like it's really important to look at the images of these cards in particular. And it says pure, joyful friendships and loving help. And this is remembering that as you go through this journey and on this path, there are people that are helping you, that you don't have to do it alone. And remember that you have that help, whenever you need it, like you just tune into it. Now, dolphins are a really magical energy and very important to the earth. So you may have a specific connection to dolphins as well and feel that urge to connect with them more, and they can help awaken a remembrance within you. Because I'm feeling so much of that magical energy, the mermaid energy was feeling really strong for some of you. The dolphins may be very, very relevant for you as well. If you've always loved dolphins and really felt drawn to dolphins, then that's for a reason. Now, the sounds of dolphins and whales may actually awaken things within us. So you can listen to whale and dolphin sounds like on YouTube or wherever, and that can actually help awaken some of these memories within you. It's about that being able to let go, to allow that flow and allow that remembrance to just come forward for you. Don't overthink it though. Like we do overthink it a lot. Don't overthink it because it's a very subtle energy. Like it can be more obvious, but a lot of times it's a subtle thing. Like it can just feel like really comforting, really safe for you, but it could be like an immediate wow, like you feel something really, really strong as well. So it's a little bit different for each person. I do feel like water, for those of you who picked this first pile, water is an important element for you to connect with at this time, and that connection with the earth. Like, I guess I can say that for everybody. Everybody should be connecting with the earth, but in particular, connecting with water for pile 1 is really important because water is an important part of your connection to your past life, at least for most of you. Now, the last card that I have is the Great Gathering. And this is coming together with so many others who are here to, make an impact and change the world. And the card says it's all coming together, intuitive hits and soul tribe. So as you embrace more of this connection to this past life that's coming forward for you, that is connected to your throat chakra, connected to the expression of your authentic self, connected to possibly some mermaid energy, but definitely some magical energy, possibly some dolphin energy, definitely water energy. You're going to connect more with your soul tribe. You're going to connect more with like-minded people. The more you express who you really truly are and express what you are feeling, what you are experiencing, the more you're going to attract people to you that are in alignment with you and are your soul tribe. But if you're not putting that energy out into the world, then you're not going to be able to connect with those people, right? So it's important to allow yourself to put yourself out there and to allow yourself to be seen by others. Then my throat starts going crazy. Be seen by others. I talked really, really fast. Let's see if there's anything else. Nathalie, let me know if anything's coming up for you around pile 1 as well, if you have anything to add.
I'm just really enjoying the cards that you've been showing. They were so beautiful. Their energy was so beautiful, and the messages were just perfect on spot.
Yeah, it does feel really important to really be really connecting more to your authenticity. I keep kind of being brought back to the crystal card with the different beings there, the different animals and the chameleon, and being, you know, really deeply connected to the different aspects of yourself and that light. And we also have that light bulb there. That light, you know, that is you, that light that is your authentic self. And then uncovering that is a journey, but it is absolutely worth the journey, because we're going to be on a journey anyways. We might as well be embracing the highest and best versions of ourselves. And this is actually something Nathalie and I, like we have a group on Facebook called Sorceress Circle, and we talk about these things in that space. It's a private space, so people have a safe space to be themselves authentically, to express what they're going through, what they're feeling, the weird things that are coming up for them. But it is that safe space. So if you're not already in that group, I would like to invite you there, because I think that this pile is kind of about embracing your weirdness, like, and allowing it to be brought into the world. And this is directly connected to a past life that may be more uncomfortable for you to really comprehend or embrace. For some of you are a lot more like ready to embrace this energy, and some of you are just like, this is kind of a stretch. But just open your mind to it, allow yourself to just sink into whatever it is, and you may begin to receive information in your dreams or in meditation and be able to piece more of it together for yourself.
That was beautiful.
Awesome. All right, so I guess we can go on to pile 2.
Yes, definitely. So pile 2, for those of you who picked pile 2, the past life that you're supposed to be connecting to within this moment definitely has a lot to do with your spiritual abilities, with your gifts that you have gathered over the lifetimes that you've had. It definitely has to do a lot with relationships and how you feel in these relationships, how these relationships from that past life are still influencing this one. So I think that's something really important. The first card that came up for you guys was called. And it says soul gifts and training. It's time to step up. So that is what the door actually represents for me, is it's time to step through that. And it's time to step into that bigger energy. Now, I've read the explanation of this card because I felt very compelled to go and take a look, because there was such a beautiful activation. And I'm going to just read it for you guys, because you definitely deserve to hear it. It says, I call forth the soul gifts and soul training that I've received throughout all of my many lifetimes. I'm ready to embody them all now, without hesitation or fear. I fully commit to being here now. I'm ready to step into my soul's highest and most potent calling. I've been training for this for lifetimes. And that is definitely true. So I think that's some very beautiful energy to start off this reading. Then the next card that came up for you guys was actually karmic relationships. Now, not only does it say karmic relationships, it also says Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, conflict. That goes to with the first card perfectly, because karmic relationships are here to teach us a lesson, but also to help our soul grow, to help us go further, to help us discover what it is that we really want within this life. And sometimes they can follow us from other lifetimes where we didn't have a chance to go through that cycle, and we're taking them with us into this life. Now, it can also mean, of course, with the Orion energy, that you have had a lifetime in Orion. Now, these gifts that we have, they can, of course, be held down by certain patterns that we bring forward from another lifetime. So this karmic relationship doesn't necessarily mean that it's a person, but it can also be a karmic relationship that you have about your gifts and abilities. And that's why they haven't been opening up as you wanted them to. It could be that you have been a witch in another lifetime, and that you have been burned at the stake for practicing your gifts and abilities. And that is the karmic relationship that you're working through right now, is knowing that you are safe within this lifetime to practice and preach your gifts to the world. Now, I know for many of you, this will mean this actually speaks about relationships, because the second card that came up was moving on. And this definitely means moving on from certain situations, moving on from certain relationships that you actually know have taken its course, but you're kind of scared is not the right word, but you're kind of apprehensive to leave them behind, which is understandable because it is always hard to leave something behind. But if we don't move on from our past life, then we get stuck in the energies that we have brought forward from that other life. So we really need to get clear on why we're moving on and why this is the best choice for us to make. Now, of course, this moving on can mean many things. It can be moving on from a former self, someone who you thought you were and you aren't in this moment, and you're moving on from that energy. This can mean moving on from a relationship that you felt very comfortable in, very comforted in, very happy, but just not really passionate about, like you need to let go of um being in a relationship that you are comfortable with, but that is not actually living up to its potential and not living up to your own potential. The last card that I pulled for you guys was Love Abounds. So this is actually a perfect card to pull at the end, because love does abound. Everything is love, and we are love. So I think it's very important for you to focus with this past life on looking at your relationships in this life and maybe the life that has passed. I think it is very important to see where you have love in your life. Are you letting enough love in your life? Are you radiating love within your life? Are you sharing the love that you feel inside with other people that you are in a relationship with? Are you keeping your gifts and your abilities to yourself, or are you sharing the love, and are you getting them out to the world so other people can learn from them? I think the most important things in this reading are really the heart energy. So that is definitely the focus of this reading, the heart energy, the relationships, and the relationships from a past life. Maybe you should look at the people that you have in your life right now and look if you have any past lives with them, and if that is the energy that is keeping you in this relationship instead of really feeling the love when you are with these people right now. So yeah, definitely some very interesting energy going on. I hope you guys enjoyed the reading, and let us know if it resonated with you.
I think that Love Abounds card also is a good reminder that anything that's meant for us will return for us. So the moving on.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we're letting go of someone, it's easier to let them go when we know if they're really meant to be in our life, then they'll come back around and into our life. So we won't ever let go of things that are meant for us because they'll always come back. But it's safe to let them go. It's safe to move on because anything that's meant for you will come to you.
Yeah, that is such a perfect note. Really. That is so true.
Yeah. Cool. So we are moving on to pile 3 now. So for pile 3, I felt a lot of solar plexus and heart energy around really being in your power and really connected to your heart. So I'll go through and explain that a little bit more as we go through the cards, but it is a more serious energy. It feels very, I wrote down heavy. I hesitate to say that, but it may be a heavier energy that you are moving through right now. Now, the first card I pulled is from the Miss of Avalon Oracle. And I was really drawn to it. Now, that may mean that you had a past life in Avalon. That may be it, but it may not. So don't get too attached to it. But the card says regeneration, life force, spirit, and wisdom. And it is the Holy Grail. Now, the Grail is actually really important to this reading because it came up twice. So the Grail itself is important, and I just want to kind of put that up close so that you can really look at that and see the symbols and see the flowers and the life blooming from it. And so what I get from this is this, well, I'm hearing new beginnings, but this connection to this past life is going to help you to step into this new I don't know, more expansive version of yourself. And it is also directly connected to some wisdom that you are meant to bring forward into the world now. So that feels really important, is that wisdom that you are ready to really access from this past life. So the past life may have some trauma related to it though, because it does feel a bit heavy. But I think that once you begin to explore it a little bit more and the emotions that you feel around it, then it's going to become a lot more clear around why you feel the heaviness, because it's possible that you were killed or you died in a very uncomfortable way in that lifetime, and that's why you are having some resistance to exploring it. But once you do, then you can begin to see, okay, in this past life I was a really really wise shaman, or something that is a wisdom that is important for you to access now. I am actually receiving that for some of you there is some soul retrieval stuff in this specific past life. I think that can be for any of them. It's hard to get that specific in a general reading, but since I'm getting that importance of mentioning that, I'm going to mention that there may be some soul retrieval work for some of you in this past life. Now, in that vein of kind of learning, we actually have great teacher, learn from spiritual experiences. And it's really funny because I did a reading earlier today that was a dove being set free, and look, there's a dove being set free. And I'm just like, how strange is it that earlier it was a vision that I received, and now I'm getting it on a card, and it's totally separate reading, but that being set free. So the more you connect to your wisdom and connect to more of who you are, then the more free you're going to feel. But this great teacher is also like, you may have been a really great teacher in a past life, but you may also be able to connect to that past life and get a great teacher. So one of the first past lives that I connected with, it was a lifetime in Avalon, actually. And I connected with a version of myself in Avalon, and she was my teacher. So I was teaching myself. So that is absolutely a possibility. There's no boxes here, but this past life can have a teacher that is here, that is ready to help you in your lifetime now. So I think that is really an important message. We also have Medicine Guardian, and this is about healing. So there are some things from this past life that are ready to be healed, and it's really important to be really honest with yourself. I said that in pile 1 as well, but it's coming up here too. Like, it's really important to be honest with yourself. And if you watch many of my stuff, you're going to hear me say that all the time, because we're not honest with ourselves. We push things down. We have to function in the world. So of course we're not always like exploring and being super aware of what we're going through, and that needs to change. We need to be more aware of what we're feeling in each moment and what is triggering us and why. And so this is coming up because there is some healing information ready to come forward for you, and there are some things ready to be healed from this past life. This has a very strong heart chakra energy. So it is really important to tune into what is it that you're feeling in your heart, and what is happening in your life right now that you need to tune into, so that you can heal this part of you from this past life, right? Because you don't always have to see the past life. You don't have to see everything from it in order to heal it, because these situations are playing out in your life right now. And that's what this reading is. Like, these are situations that are already going to be playing out in your life in some way or another. So you can work through the healing without necessarily going to the past life and doing the healing, although that can be beneficial as well. The next card that I got is questioning your beliefs. So this past life, it's also a very dark card. Like, it looks like she has black wings. They're actually kind of more of a dark green, and her dress is kind of a dark green, but it is a very dark card, a more shadow type feeling to it. But questioning your beliefs, and this is about, like, there are things that, so what I'm getting is this relationships in your life now. So it can be any relationships, but parental or family relationships in particular, where they have, I keep hearing karma, so there's some karma there going on as well, but there's some beliefs that may have been, you may have had like ingrained in you, and it is time for you to begin to recognize that these are not necessarily your beliefs, and these are connected to people from that past life. So that past life, these people are playing a different role in your life, or maybe playing a different role in your life, and they are people that may have put some different belief systems in for you, or that you have kind of taken on, because, you know, we don't know any better until, you know, we awaken, and then we know better. But even then, we still live in this world. We're still having a human experience. So we're going to have those beliefs. So questioning your beliefs is coming up, is really important for you right now. And as you do that, then you're going to begin to see more clearly. And that's where Field of Dreams comes in. And Field of Dreams feels very much like you're going to tune it more into like this magical aspect of who you are, or who you are becoming, and this expansiveness of your soul, and like dreaming bigger, or thinking bigger, like allowing things to get even bigger in your life. But it's going to take this questioning your beliefs, because this is really directed or coming from people from your past life that are really embedded or enmeshed in your life now. Think one thing that I'm getting from this is, well, first of all, it's a lot of green. It's like, it's very green in real life. It looks a little bit like it has some gold and yellow in there as well, but there's a lot of green, and very much like tuning into what is your heart's desires. And it's really important to allow your dreams to come forward and not limit yourself. The last card that I get for this reading is compassion. And it's interesting because this card came up earlier today in a reading as well. And this is what I'm getting from this, is having compassion for yourself as you go through this journey connecting to this past life, because this past life may bring up some really heavy things in your life now. And it may be some hard things. It may feel like your life is falling apart right now. For some of you, you may literally feel like your life is completely falling apart. And it's important for you to have compassion for yourself in this journey, that it's not an easy path, and just give yourself a break. Like, don't be so hard on yourself, because all of this is an exploration. It's a journey. It's healing. It's an awakening, and an awakening is not always easy. It's going to be hard. It has a lot of parts to it that are just, it's just not easy. Like, I don't know how else to put it. It's just not easy. Like, so have that compassion for yourself as you go through this journey. I am feeling like they're wanting to say something else about this past life. So let me see what they want to say about that. So what they're saying is that those of you who picked pile 3, it is really important for you to really be in your power. That it may feel like everything is falling apart in your world right now, and it is directly connected to this past life that is coming forward really strong. The energy is coming forward really strong for you. It is showing up in your physical world, but as you learn to connect more with what you are really truly feeling, you are learning to have more compassion for yourself and this journey, and recognizing that it doesn't happen overnight, having more patience. You're going to begin to get more clarification or more clarity. Like, you're going to understand things a little bit more. and you're going to understand what direction to take and how to take back your power, because so much of it is connected. I am feeling that connection to the solar plexus and really being able to be in your power, but not in a like forcing it, making it happen type of way, not in a, oh, I'm done with this, I'm just going to be in my power now. Like you have to go through the muck. You have to go through the mud of it all, the heaviness, and that is going to help you to really move into that expansive energy, to be able to embody more of this energy from this past life. Now, I had said that there was the Grail. Okay, so we have it coming up again here. I actually forgot about this when the card came up, and now they're reminding me to go back to this. So this Grail, the more you heal, the more you're tapping into your own healing. They're getting wonky with my throat. Let's see if there's something I'm missing. But the more you are tapping into or doing more healing, the more you're going to be tapping into your wisdom and connecting more with that wisdom and that energy of the Grail and that magic of your true self, right? And this is regeneration, life force, spirit, and wisdom, of course. So that wisdom from this past life is really important for you to connect with. It is the main energy, I would say, that is coming forward for this pile, but it is all connected to the healing that you are doing right now, or that you need to be doing right now. If you're not already doing it, it's really, really important to be tapping into what is going on for you. And I feel like it's important to mention, if doing this past life stuff on your own, it can be hard. When we're so close to it, we have a really hard time allowing ourselves to really let go and see what it is. So this may be that time that you do need a coach or a mentor or a healer or whoever you feel called to help you do the past life healing. And that is something that we do. So if you feel called to have some help moving through this past life stuff, I'll put our links below, but we can help you to recognize what the past life energy is. We can bring forward the healings for you. Yeah, like I know how hard it can be to do it on your own. And Nathalie and I do a lot of our past life stuff together, or like I have some other people that I do some past life work with as well, because it is easier to have somebody to be holding that space and at least providing some information. And I generally get the information myself, but sometimes I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. And then the other person can sometimes it's just like one word, and it's like, it shifts everything and allows like those walls to fall to allow me to see more. So for myself, it's just when we're so close to it ourselves that sometimes we have a hard time really seeing it and allowing ourselves to go into it, because we have that resistance, because you may have been killed, you may have died in a really uncomfortable way, you had really traumatic things happen. So yeah, that is something that you can reach out to us for if you would like to have a past life reading or healing.
I just love listening to you. It's so it's so soothing and it's so magical, just listening to you. That was amazing.
Well, thank you. I feel like kind of I drone on, but I'm just like in the flow of it. So I guess I just go with it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and I love it. It's so amazing. You're so in the flow right now.
I love when that happens though, because like when I pulled the cards, it's easy to just be like, well, what does that mean? And what does that mean? And what does that mean? And I'm just like, no, I'm just supposed to channel like as I go, because I knew the energy, like I was already tuned into the energy. I knew that how much it was connected to solar plexus and the heart. I knew that it was a heavy energy. Like I knew a lot of information about it, but it's like as you go, like you receive, like the information just kind of flows. So that seems to work best for me when I'm doing readings this way.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's move on to pile number 4. So those of you who chose pile number 4, this past life that you're supposed to be connecting to definitely has a lot to do with empowering yourself too. So I really resonated with that when we're saying that about pile 3. It definitely has a lot to do with how worthy you feel about yourself, with financial abundance, and why you are maybe in this life not getting that. I definitely feel like this could be a life that is related to Egypt. I feel like this is a life where you could have been a little bit more financially unstable. I don't want to throw out the poor word, but I definitely feel like this is a life where you felt less human, like less worthy of the basic needs that we all have. So the first card that came out of the pile was the camel. Be forbearing and patient. And I think that this is something that you really learned in that life, to be patient, to be grateful for everything that you have. And I feel like this really connected me to the Egypt energy. When you see the sun over here, and I can just imagine you in your past life just riding that camel and going out on the savannah and just like having a really simple life where sometimes you felt like it could be a little bit more because you missed out on certain things. And that's why I think this card came up, and that is the tiger. And it says accept your magnificence. So I think in the past life that you had, you were kind of undervalued, and you have forgotten your value in this life, and you really need to be reminded of the magnificence that you have. Whether or not you were able to bring it out fully in that life, you are definitely meant to in this life. Now these two cards together also have a meaning for me, because Egypt and then a tiger that comes forward for me is definitely really relating to lion beings. So that is something to watch out for as well. Now, the third card that came up was the sun.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I thought that was really interesting. It's going along with the Egyptian vibe. So it says plans that work out perfectly, amazing ideas that lead to rewards and commendations, gratitude for the blessings of life. So I definitely feel like you're supposed to be connecting to this life to recognize how much you have achieved, and to recognize where you came from, to recognize how much gratitude you can show for having the life that you are living within this moment. I think that you are definitely a very ambitious person, and that you have many great ideas and many great plans, but sometimes you doubt yourself because of what has happened in past lives, because you were that magnificent person too in that life, but it was so underappreciated in the situation that you were in, that you have brought that forward into this life. Now, the last card that came out was Ace of Spring. And that actually says it's time to take action. Be fearless and happily pursue your most treasured dreams, amazing career opportunities. So I definitely feel like this is going to be the outcome if you work on all of the other stuff that was coming up. You are definitely someone who is meant to be very successful, who is meant to be financially abundant, who is meant to take their ideas out into the world and make them work, just because you are creating these ideas that are for the better and the greatest good of so many other people. You really feel like someone who is going to pull in these opportunities like it is out of thin air, just because that is the energetic vibration that you are bringing forward. So I definitely feel like focusing on feeling worthy enough of having the life that you're dreaming of is the focus of this pile. And that is definitely the reason to go back into the past lifetime that you have, where you felt like you weren't good enough. Definitely some healing needed over there, but I feel like it is going to work out, and that you're going to have some really great progress, and that you will be surprised by how looking back at that past life has brought you so much further in this life, and to have a new appreciation of the place where you are in right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I can feel like that, how directly connected it is to money too. Like, I really feel like that's going to
Yeah.
be really relevant for people, that, you do this work and you're going to feel like you're able to receive a lot more, or you're just going to begin to receive a lot more because you're going to be open to receive again.
Yes, and that is the thing about past lives. Sometimes we don't even know that we have that stuck energy in that place, you know? So sometimes we have all these qualities and the money is not coming in, and we're asking ourselves why that is. Now, working past these blocks from these past lives can actually open up the floodgates for everything to come in. So yeah, that is definitely so true. And I felt that money vibration too, like very strongly. So yeah, I'm excited to see which people are going to choose this pile and to see what comes up for them.
Yeah, I am excited to hear what everybody's thoughts are in regards to each of the piles, and what came up for you, and how is it going for you? Like, once you start doing the work and the healing and looking at things and exploring what you are really feeling, like, how is this shifting things for you? Come back and let us know about that. And if you're having a hard time, like I said, when after I did my pile 3, I guess, if you're having a harder time, you want support in doing this healing work for your past lives, Nathalie and I can help you. You can book with both of us. You can book with one or the other of us, but we can help you to explore your past lives and do whatever healing needs to be done, and just help you to understand why. Because sometimes we get caught up in like how it all works, why, and we get very stuck in our head about it. So that's why it helps to have some help with that. So all of our links are going to be below. And also, if you want to learn more about, past lives, or other readings, galactic beings, magical beings, all of these different things, join our group, Sorceress' Circle, on Facebook. Also, we'll post the link below for that. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel here. I know that we have a lot of amazing content that is going to be coming out. So let us know what you thought. And if you have topics or things that you would like to see us talk about or do readings on, post that below as well, because we are open to other ideas and topics to go over.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm so excited for all of you guys to join our Sorcerer Circle group. It is amazing. It is such a loving community, and you will fit right in.
Yes, absolutely. And we're live in there 3 days a week. So we're live on Mondays for the readings for the week, which is the pick pile readings. We are live on Wednesday for channeling in the group. So we channel as we're guided for different people. And then on Fridays we have conversations. We talk about a particular topic. We talk about things like past lives, or we talk about galactic beings. And so we have these, they're like teachings, but more in a conversational way, and sharing our own stories, and opening up space for other people to share their stories. And the group itself is just like a safe space for you to be able to share your own experiences as well. So thank you guys so much for joining us on this video, and we hope that we will see you on the next one.